Hey, what's up, everybody? You know what time it is. Your boy Jeffrey L. Boney here for another edition of Trending Tuesdays. We got our live studio audience in the building. Give it up.
Yeah!
That's what I'm talking about, man. We're live here at the K. Davis Showroom Plus here in the heart of Sunnyside, Houston, Texas. And, man, we're fresh off of some outstanding celebratory, commemorative events in honor of George Perry Floyd Jr. And man, so many things took place, and we're going to talk about that on today. And so joining me, as always, to talk about all things commemorative George Floyd, Perry Floyd Jr. is none other than his first cousin, Dr. Sharita McGee. Let's give her a round of applause. We got the always exciting and full of joy and excitement and everything. I can't see where she get all this energy from. Well, Miss Tanya Dixon. Give it up, y'all, for Tanya Dixon. And then, of course, the visionary behind Trending Tuesdays. And we're here in the building that she constructed right here in the heart of Sunnyside, Houston, Texas. None other than Danette Davis. I was going to say Dr. Danette Davis. You might well be Dr. Let's give her a round of applause, y'all. Yeah, she might as well be doctor. All right, so we had 4 days of events, you all, and it seems like everything, I mean, this being the inaugural 4-day, the Movement Festival is what it's called. So did some things move?
It moved.
Okay, all right, well, let's talk about it. What moved? I'll go with the energy person first. You know, let's go with Miss Energy, Tanya Dixon. What moved? Let's talk about Thursday. So Thursday, we had a couple of events. We had the kickoff of the Movement Festival. We had the report card, which was a forum that took place at the 3rd Ward Multi-Service Center. And then after that, we had a play called Breathe. And so let's talk about it. What took place at the forum called the report card?
Oh my gosh, that was like one of the most phenomenal, most empowering panel type settings of events that I've actually been to in quite a while. Because you dealt with truth, you dealt with the reality of things, with where we were 5 years ago, and you took a true look at where we are now, understanding that we've not made all the progress that we desired to make as a community, as a nation, but you did see some baby steps there, right? So progress, I always say progress is progress. So celebrate the progress that you have made, but don't lose sight of what the goal is. And I believe in talking and dealing with the report card on that Thursday, we didn't lose sight of what the actual goal is. Teslin was like such a powerful presenter. The panelists, they were all insightful. They were very aware of what was going on. You know, sometimes you get panelists up there and they're just kind of like fluffing it, right? But they were talking about hardcore situations, challenges, and taking it back, putting it back in our faces, in the community faces, in the Black community faces, right? Because we've not done everything that we could do.
Yes.
Granted. And sometimes we want to hold others responsible for doing everything that we want them to do without us doing our part in the work. But we've got to put in the work. Pastor Dixon, Dr. Sharita McGee, she was one of those panelists. The young lady from that you brought in, Serena, and then we had
Cecily Gates and Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter, yes, and that was really good, right?
Yeah, it was, and we have some footage.
Yeah,
and I wanted Jeff to get the true, you know, because that was the vision was Sharita's vision.
And Sharita, before we go, we're going to show some of this footage.
We have
all right,
some
before
footage.
we show the footage, I just want to talk with you, saying that you had a vision for this. You're a family member, not just someone who cares about dealing with injustice and trying to get justice for George Floyd. Looks a lot different for you as a family member. So, 10 years since, I mean, it's been a situation where, as a family member, I'm sure there's been frustrations. I know there's been disheartenment, anger, and maybe sometimes just feelings of hopelessness to a degree, although you don't want to be hopeless. So talk to me about the roller coaster of emotions that you and your family have had to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, it's a true statement. We go through a litany of emotions. It's highs and lows when you're on this journey, and obviously, we take the time that we need. You allow yourself the grace to feel how you feel, and then you just refocus on what the goal is. Even through this, like the last 4 days, there was definitely a lot of different emotions, but I think one of the things that makes it easier for us, or at least for me, is that knowing that there are still people out there who want to work towards some real justice efforts. Like, obviously, we'll never be able to get the justice that we want, and that would either be for George to come back or either Derek to have the knee on his neck for 9 minutes and 29 seconds. Neither of those things will happen. But I think as we talked about where we were when we started out, and then just sort of fleshing out what are the next steps? How can we help? When I was thinking about who the panelists would be, I wanted to try to have a representative from different areas so that we could have a different perspective. And I think we had a great cross-section of people who could add to the conversation. It was very empowering. I really enjoyed what each of the people had to say. And I think, it's going to take everyone's involvement and everybody to get where we want to go.
Outstanding. Well, I think we have a clip or so from the report card from Thursday. Let's go ahead and play that clip.
At the age of 28, I got saved. And it was a 10-minute cry in the bathroom in the encounter with the Holy Spirit. I'll be 41. And so I feel like a lot of people are still stuck there because a lot of people get stuck in that moment of trauma and forget that there's life on the other side of that. So in regards to what we see in our communities is because we see a lot of people still stuck in those moments. That moment in itself opened up the door for us to have those conversations with our family members that get stuck. But unfortunately, that's generational trauma where people get stuck. You don't tell, you don't say you're not okay. Unfortunately, we have only the mothers and the fathers on the front lines, but these people had siblings, friends, cousins, aunts, uncles, relatives who are still stuck, and they don't know what to do to move past it. So even though we may have legislation, we may have different things, the community is still stuck in a sense because a lot of people don't understand that that's just a moment with the Lord, the Holy Spirit, to understand what do you do with it. We lost this person, but what's next? I lost myself, but what's next? And if we can have those type of conversations, I believe that our community can move forward. But unfortunately,
we can turn this around. We're going to see more of that, Bishop. And maybe that's what it takes. Maybe it take what they say, a hard head make us what? Maybe that's what it takes. Something got to wake y'all up. To consistently do it behind just a good semester. We failed in a semester, Bishop, if I'm telling the truth. Of course, I got suspended. Ms. Harris said, ain't nobody gonna slap me, ain't nobody gonna slap me. And that's fine. But somebody needed to speak up for the least of these. And I've been carrying that in my spirit ever since. Well, actually, the second grade, but I've been carrying that in my spirit ever since. People say, well, what made you get into politics? I didn't. Politics got into me. At the end, and again, if you're not a believer, but at the end, there'll be a report card. And the report card is very clear, Bishop. It says it's going to divide the wheat from the tare. It says they're going to divide the goat from the sheep. And the goat is not the greatest of all time. On earth it is, but not with Jesus. He's looking for the sheep, those who are about the shepherd's business. He's going to ask you when you stand before the elders. And if I'm wrong, don't worry about it. But what if I'm right? He's going to ask you, what did you do for the least of these? Did you stand up for the widow? Did you speak up to Miss Harris, the system? Did you do what all you could do? I'm not asking you to be an orator and do what I do and crash out, because that's basically, I'm determined to be an Uber driver, not make no income. I'm not asking you to do what I do. I'm asking, what can you do? If it ain't nothing but sitting in this room, if it ain't nothing but inviting somebody, what can you do? Because when the question is asked, you're not going to be able to say, well, I emailed Taylor and she never got back to me. Well, you know that Trump administration. No, what can you do for the least of these? What did you do to speak up to Ms. Harris? And if you didn't have the courage to speak up to Ms. Harris, did you support somebody that do? Get behind your bishop. Get behind activists like me. We need it, y'all. From a financial standpoint, $5 on it, $2 on it, something. Because if I can't get no job and speak up, because clearly they ain't hiring me, then who the hell gonna be speaking up? Because it ain't gonna be you. So if nothing else, get behind somebody that got the courage to speak up to Ms. Harris. Y'all something else going to these churches on a weekly, but I'm gonna say it because I know Bishop's gonna say it, but I'm gonna say it in a different way. Y'all planting seeds in the churches that ain't planting seeds for you. I wish I would go to, it's only gonna be Bishop Dixon, Jamal Bryant, Bishop Talbot Swan. Paying tithes. They said, well, you know, I ain't that type of minister, well, I ain't that type of tither then. Because I need to know I got a minister that's standing up for some justice around here. The Bible's about justice. Y'all following leaders to feel good. You're not planting good seed. I don't care how big the mega church is. I'm here to tell you, you're not planting good seed. Want to make you feel good about how you're going to be a millionaire on Monday. The jig is up. It really is. If you ain't out there marching with me and Bishop on the front line, I ain't coming to the church. Because I serve a justice God. Now, I'm Old Testament. Deborah said, General Barak, that was his name in case y'all didn't know. The warrior, the female warrior. She said, General Barak, if you don't deliver my people through poverty, he's going to deliver it through the hands of a woman. Meaning if you don't do what need to be done, move out the way so I can do it. So I need you to get the Deborah up in you, male or female. Because what they doing out there ain't it. Y'all the choir, so y'all doing what's right. I need you to go home and challenge some of the folks and have them do what they do. So I stopped by to tell you those three things, those few things. I appreciate your time. I hope I was able to challenge and inspire. Please follow me.
I was raped from 5 to 8. At the age of 28, I got saved. And it was a 10-minute cry in the bathroom in the encounter with the Holy Spirit. I'll be 41. And so I feel like a lot of people are still stuck there because a lot of people get.
Ooh, that's good. That's true.
Watch the same. So we absolutely naivete. We thought that since everyone saw what we saw, they saw Derek Chauvin's knee on the neck of George Floyd. They saw it over and over and over again. It was undeniable. It was not done in obscurity. We had all the other battles from, I could go, you know, Breonna Taylor, we could go all the way back, right? Trayvon Martin, we could keep talking, right? Of all of the other, but this time, we saw it.
Yep.
And we all saw it together. We watched the same. So we thought that the nation was feeling what we felt. We felt that the nation was hurt like we were hurt. And so we thought that now these policies were changing, the marches, the protests, and it was so multicultural, multi-ethnic. It felt like we were becoming one America. And so we thought that because laws or policies changed, hearts changed.
Ooh, that's good. That's good.
And I want to say to us that was really the mission of Dr. King and the civil rights leaders, by the way. I spoke with Ambassador Andrew Young one-on-one several months ago, and he said to me, the difference in the young fighters for freedom and activists now is that they're fighting for black rights. We were fighting to save the soul of a nation. And no one has picked up that mantle since the 50s and 60s. Laws change, hearts didn't. I'll close with this.
That's right.
So because of that,
Yeah.
All right, all right.
Oh, boy, that went on and on
Yeah.
for a minute. Dallas Jones was the host and moderator. He got kind of worked up there for a while. And the audience, like you guys are sitting there going, whatever stuff. It turned into a whole thing. The minister, what is his name?
Muhammad.
Muhammad.
Robert Muhammad.
Was in the audience. They ended up handing him a mic, and it went, between he and the bishop and Dallas, it got kind of hot there. So we literally, so much was going on, Jeff. We were over in the Third World Multipurpose Center. The folk in the back there playing dominoes or bingo, that's what it was, back in the back, ended up coming to the front, joining to see what was going on and what have you. And it ended up being a really, really, really nice event. I think the conversation and the call to action, honestly, is something that I'd like, it's almost like we need to package this thing up so that, with Bishop Dixon, the president of NAACP, right? And then the
Yes.
other people that were involved that are there. And then the lady, I don't think we've seen her excerpt, but the president.
Cecily Gay?
Yeah, she's the new chairman of the board for Black Lives Matter.
Right.
And that lady came, Jeff, in a way, all of the, whatever people are saying, I mean, she's a businesswoman. And she's like, they want me to come out and they saying, why you not out there marching and leading? And she said, we got, how much business we got to clean up here so that we can be the organization we need to be. They can be mad at me, Jeff, but I'm getting the business straight, so that won't happen again. You know what I'm saying? And it was interesting because as she continued to talk, she's very sharp.
Oh,
Right.
very.
That's a whole nother kind of thing now. And I think we need to just get behind her and pay attention, as to she make her moves and stuff and let that
Yes.
thing do what it's supposed to do.
I agree. I met her a few months ago at another event, and that was one of the reasons I asked her, because her conversation was talking about, the mess that was occurring with Black Lives Matter, and that they had brought her on to clear that up and what her goals were. So I thought it would be important for people to be able to hear from her perspective that there's still work that they can do, but we've got to clean this up before we can get out there. And I think that she has the right mindset, and it takes all of us. Like, you need her role as somebody with Black Lives Matter in the office cleaning up, and you need people on the street protesting. It takes all of us to walk in our own positions to make this thing work.
Yeah,
So
we
real
got asked that, Jeff, as if we're as if we're Black Lives Matter movement. We're not. But the media, we got a lot of media attention, and a lot of conversations and questions we got were along those lines. So,
What do you-
think? Well, how do you, as if, you know what I'm saying? We were not, because we're not connected at all. But knowing that that's going in that direction was really exciting for me to find out.
Right.
Or what have you. So I could say to them, oh, I think they're going to be fine, and they'll be back.
So the quick question that I have is from the report card, with all that was shared and discussed, I'll just start with you, Danette. What was the one thing that you left with that stood out to you, phrase, word, or statement that was delivered that resonated with you?
Okay.
One thing, ooh.
Well, she gave us, what did she give us, an F or a D? Did we get an F or a D? We received an F, or whatever you put on the report card.
Okay.
For what we're doing.
When you say we received an F, who is we?
The community.
The community.
So,
She was saying
Okay,
the
Tesla really, when she spoke, and the part that we played a lot of her because she was keynote. And
well,
she
hold
was,
on, before you continue.
Okay.
The community being the African-American community or America as a whole?
I want to say America as
I
a
think it
whole.
was-
I
I
don't think
think
she
it
just
was
meant the black
all.
community,
I think it
because
was all.
she said, I'm an independent, because we got problems on both sides. We got problems all over the place. It's not about complexion. It's not just about Democrat, Republican. We got some issues as
Right.
a whole
As a people.
people
Yeah.
right now.
I think she was speaking to the fact that there were a lot of promises that were made that weren't kept up. So it wasn't just talking about, us not doing as much as we could, but there are other all the players have said they were going to do this, and as we reflect back on that, how much of that has really been done? Particularly with the people who, made all of these promises that they were going to do these things with DEI and donate to this and help support this. And as we saw earlier this year, many of those things were rolled back. So,
So going back, Danette, what one thing, I know it's probably challenging because it was a lot of meat to digest, but any one thing that you can recall that just immediately when such and such said such and such?
Well, I mean, honestly, I think I mentioned it when I talked about Black Lives Matter. Honestly, to meet that young lady, and we didn't do her blurb. I don't know if you got one, Avery, but I was impressed. She's a young woman, and she was not to be. You couldn't throw her off.
She's not intimidated
You
by
know,
by
not
the
at all.
challenge.
And I know that to see a movement as great as it was going in a direction, and to just be stopped like that, as if Black lives don't matter now. They still matter.
Right.
You get me? And to see someone, I think, who will, and it's going to take a minute in order to stand in those shoes now, because people are afraid to be associated with Black Lives Matter. As if all of a sudden they didn't, or it was something taboo, that taboo. And that's not a thing. We turn and run quick. We quick to cut and run, Jeff. All they got to do is, say you messed up, or you had something happen, somebody took some money and what, so as if in the United States, that's not a thing. How many organizations, but you get forgiven. But we have to forgive each other first. Whatever that group was, let's not lose the concept that Black lives matter. They still do. Well, all lives matter. Yes, they do. But Black lives matter too. And we can say it, just like you can say, came around, I'm Black and I'm proud.
Yes.
You can say it. It's
Yes.
all good. So I think the fact that I was impressed by her, I felt like, and she's kind of next generation. I felt like that matters, because if it does nothing but change the reputation, whether we acknowledge it or not, it's repair that's being done to a movement that still matters. And so to me, honestly, to meet the young lady, I was surprised when you said, well, she's chairman of the board for Black Lives Matter, because people act like that place went defunct. You ask folk now if they think Black Lives Matter even still exists, most people will say no. It went away with the media. But those people are still working in the shadows, and so I was impressed by that.
And her
That was me.
priority is sustainability.
Oh, it is sustainability.
It's sustainability.
Her
That's
whole
what
way
she's
she
getting things in
came
order.
was different from, that whole thing about we all can march and, we want our rights and we want this or whatever, but you're not really doing anything about it. We have to be smart and be educated in what we're doing in order to really make a difference. And I felt like that was what impressed me. about
Okay,
that
Tanya,
day.
what about you?
Well, of course, one of my favorite things that was shared and that really resonates with me is that I truly believe that at that time, because it seemed like we were all on one accord, we were all wanting justice and unity and peace, and we wanted justice to be upheld, understanding truly that policies and laws, we were trying to change those things, but the heart of the people were not changed. So therefore, while we were trying to make progress in putting those policies and everything into law, there were others, because of where their heart was doing things to not allow those things to come to pass. And we thought that everybody was marching to the same beat.
Correct.
And there were two different drum majors on the scene.
Yeah, I think that actually was mine too. Because if you can remember when he said that, you probably heard me audibly say, that's good. I think that was the thing that resonated with me the most, is that we had so much happening at the time, this push for the laws, like she was saying, and that, like Bishop said, we thought because the laws changed that
Yeah.
people's hearts had changed,
Yeah.
and they had not. So that was the thing that resonated most with me, if we're talking about like one line. But they all did, like even Dr. Zarina, when she was talking about the trauma bonds and how important it is that people work through that, because her being the product of rate from 5 to 8 years old. And people sometimes get stuck in that place and they can't move beyond that. So just so many things. It's really hard to pinpoint one.
Gotcha. Well, it's good that there was a lot to digest and take away. I think about, before we move on to the play, Breathe. It's kind of, I think that when we talk about a report card, sometimes, it's a little interesting because you said that we were given an F. However, what I find is it's hard to really give a grade to something when you don't actually have the litmus test or how you're judging, what makes us receive an F versus a D or a C or a B or an A. What were the measuring sticks, right? As to how this, if we would have done this based off of this, then we would have gotten an A. So we didn't have that going in, right? So as time has progressed, who was doing the checking, right? Who was checking the what do they call it, the progress reports? You know what I'm saying? In school, sometimes you have a midterm,
Right.
exam, and you have various. Did we give extra credit? I mean, for doing something that maybe wasn't a part of the overall expectations. And I say all that to say, like, I remember I was at the polls one day when I was running for re-election. And I remember this guy said, Boney, we gonna vote you up out of here. And I was like, why? He said, because you ain't done nothing for the community.
Wow.
And I said, really? I said, well, what is it that I had not done? And he said, nothing. I said, well, surely you can tell me what I have not done. Give me one thing that I was supposed to do that you told me, Jeff, we're going to hold you accountable to this, and you haven't done this. He couldn't say anything. So it was a blanket. It was based off of emotion, personality, I like you, I don't like you, popularity or lack thereof, or what someone else told you. And I'm saying that because I feel like when we go into something, we need to actually be able to measure what it is that our expectations are. Like, who said that this is what we want or this is what we expect? Is this a collective agenda or a collective vision? Are we all saying this is what we are going to hold X, Y, Z accountable for? So we're the community. So if the community gets an F, who came up with the criteria to determine whether we get an A, B, C, D, E? I mean, A, B, C, D, or an F?
F.
That's good.
I think, I agree with that, and I think that
That's good.
that was definitely her opinion about what the things that she had in her mind that we should have done. Because I think in order to say we made an F, that would mean that we haven't done anything.
Right.
So I don't agree with that assessment that we got an F. I think there's definitely a lot more work for us to do. But it's like she said, we made some progress. Those things we need to celebrate and continue to build on.
And we need to acknowledge those. We need to highlight them, write them down, and then be able to state,
Yes.
this is what we've accomplished. This is what we've done. Or these are the things that we are halfway on. Or maybe we haven't gotten any movement on those. Maybe we're still at zero here.
No, maybe we
Or
in
maybe we're-
midterms, and that's what, when you said that, you said,
Right.
well, where are we in the process? We may be in midterm.
Right.
Maybe we're in the middle, and so for things to go well, and then we roll back. which
Go
they
ahead,
have.
Tanya. I know you got something on your brain.
Because when you're dealing with developing people, as an educator, right? There are different tools, and different tools will reveal different levels of progress, right? And we talk about always teaching to the test.
Right.
That's one of the big things right, now,
right.
teaching you to the test. But then there's also thing about teaching the fundamentals, the basics, right? And so I believe what she was sharing, some of what she shared, there was some truth to it because it was what everybody was saying. That's all you heard through the media, that the public was crying out, and there were some things that we were saying we were going to do, and that was going to happen. And so we started off with a good, it's like we got out the blocks really fast. And then as time progressed, we began to slow up, and then some people just drifted off, You ran out of steam. It's like that monkey got on your back and you just couldn't go no further, or whatever the case may be. But my thing is that always show progress. Show where you are. And if you're a good teacher, a good leaders, then good leaders got to have followers, right? So you want to encourage your followers to say, don't give up, because we're not still where we were. We're not at point A. Even if we're just at point 1, maybe we're at point 1.5, but then at least you're still not at point 1. You're up out the blocks. Now we got to get to point 2 and point 3. And I think sometimes we want to see faster progress. All of us do, right? But sometimes it's not realistic when you're trying to make people educate. You got to inform people, right? A lot of times, because we don't want people just acting out of emotions. And a lot of times that's what you get when you get people acting out of emotions. What happens? They run out of steam. Because emotions, you're going to be on a high today, a low tomorrow. You find me here, over here, and then tomorrow I'll be over there. And so you want to get them in a solid place with information, informing them. After they're informed, then you begin to train. You got to train your soldiers. After the soldiers are trained, your students will learn, then you can send them out and put them to the test with what they've learned. Then I think you have something to measure.
So, you know, when you think about it, coming out of the report card forum, then maybe we need to, if we don't have a list of things that we're looking to measure ourselves by as a community, then we need to create that.
Right.
We need to start now, because you know, if the goal, if the expectation of the community is for me to move this chair from right here to over there on the stage, then that is the goal. That's the expectation. So if it's still here 5 years later, 10 years later, then we can say there's been no progress.
Right.
But if I moved it halfway, or if I even got it on the stage, we need to be able to acknowledge where it is or where it ended up. And I think that that's important as a community, as a people particularly, that we identify what our expectations are, our agenda, collective agenda.
And that was the takeaway.
That's
That
right.
was actually how
That
it
really was
ended.
how it
That was the
ended.
takeaway.
Okay.
And so to say that we need to meet, you know, and do exactly that. I won't even have to repeat it because you said it
Right.
so eloquently. You were right on point, even though you weren't in the place at the time.
That's right.
But
Well,
the
maybe I was in the
panelists-
back, you know, that
Oh,
was-
maybe, yeah. Yeah. So, you know, and that was exactly it. So we are expecting persons to step up, those who we call leaders in our community, to step up and start bringing people together in that way, so that we can, again, say there's some accountability here. Because
Right.
if the students are not passing, it's not really the students' fault, it's really the persons that's teaching.
Amen to that. All right, so we're going to go to a break here in a second, but let's talk about, to close out Thursday night, Breathe, the
Yeah.
play.
Breathe.
Okay. I wanted to say one more thing, though, what you were saying real quick. The revolution should not be televised, is
Yes,
what
right.
the takeaway was.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was, we need to make a plan, and we need to get together, and the minister, the Muhammad, and the bishop, Christian and Muslim, said that needs to be put aside, and we need to get out of the media and have, and do this plan, and stop talking all of our
Behind
business.
closed doors.
Whatever, that was what was said at the end.
Right, behind closed doors.
Behind closed doors.
Because who
and
gets
plan.
out in the public and
That
put
is
their
really-
plan of action out there for other people to
And you
see.
set yourself up. So that really was the takeaway at the end.
Gotcha, okay. So tell us real quick about the play, Breathe.
Oh, well, you got some. You can roll some footage. To Breathe was. It was almost like date night. We went over that. I mean, your city councilman
Very
came in with his
intimate.
wife, and
Yeah,
folks
everybody
seemed to
came-
come
they
in in
came
couples,
with-
and
Booed up, huh?
they booed up. Yeah, it was.
I wasn't booed up, Jill.
I was not either.
I wasn't booed up now. Don't y'all get it twisted, because I got some people out there watching. I was not booed up. I was in the place as a
wasn't-
single woman.
It was watching
Absolutely,
them.
and so was
right?
I.
That is hilarious.
It was watching them. They
You got
seemed to-
people watching?
They
I got
came in
you.
though.
I
In
understand.
couples. That's all I'm
All
saying.
right, so we're going to play a clip
Yeah, you
real
got a
quick.
clip from the play?
Let's play a clip of Breathe real quick while her people watch.
Put it on record.
Give me let me in. It's your favorite. Please give me ESPN. It's either me, who already knows how you are, or the rest behind me, who you'll have to put out for the first time. So just let me in, and I'll help you get rid of the rest of them.
All right. but only you and just you. Now get ready, get ready, get ready, get out. Get out. Tell me.
That is your name. That's it, boys. You heard him. Get out of the way and hit the street.
Now, what the H-E-double-L hockey sticks do you think you're doing?
Trying to help you re-enter the real world.
What?
Okay.
All right, so that was a hit it and quit it moment. So so now we're back here at Trending Tuesdays. I wasn't expecting. I thought it was gonna be a few more minutes,
Well, you could've let it go
but it's
on.
all good. It's all good. We back now. We're gonna.
Yes.
I know
we
we just tell him real quick.
Yeah,
you know,
tell-
'cause
yeah, talk
we
to
did
us
show
about
the
it.
old man that was there, but in a nutshell, he literally saw the murder out his window. Okay, and he was a grouchy old guy, wanted to just be left alone and live his life and all of that. But because he saw the murder, all of a sudden news people were knocking on his door, the people, what I'm saying, and they just would not leave him alone. And so it became about, at the end of the day, it's like whatever was going on in his life, he was really a decent guy. But because those things were going on and the media was all around, they had to actually come to some. The people, he had helped people in the community, and all of a sudden, with all the attention, he had to acknowledge that all of it mattered. It mattered that man was killed like that. He didn't want it. He didn't want to be bothered. It's not that he didn't, but slowly, all of the things around him became important as a result of him having seen the murder. You know what I'm saying? It's just, as people came in, he ended up dealing with issues, because it really became about issues in the black community. Just like you talk about the lady that you had on the thing who had been raped. We deal with we carry some heavy burdens.
Right.
And stuff. And black communities had some things that we talk about self-care and things like that. We want to keep all those mental health at the forefront. And some of the people in the piece had mental health issues. You had a prostitute
Right.
and all kinds of folk that were living just in the community who were all kind of trying to get it together toward the end. And so y'all can maybe share better what you
No, I
got out
think-
of it. But
Yeah, I think you did a good job of that, sort of summarizing what it was about.
But it was funny.
It was
Date night.
comical, and it was really funny at some points. Probably can't play all of it on there, because
Right.
they're kind of risque a little bit on some of the things.
some of the subject matter.
But it showed the diversity in the community. You want to say the black community, but look at all of there's some commonalities, but there are a lot of differences as well, right?
Yeah.
But then learning to get along and live together and work together and then march together and stand up for right together.
Yeah.
That's what I got from the concept of it, because in the end, everybody began standing and marching
And
together.
he connected all those
Yeah.
people just by
Yeah,
his
One
like a
person.
collection of-
role in the community. This elderly man that lived in the community. Somehow, all these were are connected through him, from his just the
From just
people-
being there, because
just
he had
from
been there
being
forever. He had been the one who had
He
been
said,
there
I don't know
forever.
why they call me grandpa. I ain't got no kids.
Right.
They all call him grandpa and what have you. So it was,
I enjoyed it.
yeah, it was good. And then too, we got to,
Nice,
they
relaxing.
did go deep with respect to what happened to George.
Right.
I mean,
Yes.
they had to go there, and that's where the emotions, and you got to see that it affected all of them. Even though they all came from various backgrounds, it
Right.
affected all of them in a way that brought them together. And I think that became the message with what we're saying about what happened after the murder.
Yeah.
It brought unlikely people together. And so the play did get at the message at the end of the day, and it
Yes.
entertained as
Right.
well.
So it really entertained.
Oh, yeah.
While
Edu-
delivering a message,
message of
and
unity.
educating everyone and being informative, even if you were booed up or not.
Yes,
Booed up or not, David.
but that makes sense.
But again, now we enjoyed the play.
Because you got people watching. All right, so look at here. We're going to talk real quick about the Friday Spotlight on Houston on Alameda, the food truck park event and stuff like that across from the historic Forward Times. And I know we have an artist in the building that you want to highlight as well, right?
Yeah,
All right, but before we do that, let's talk about Friday. Friday was the Spotlight Houston.
Look at Lauren.
Yeah, that's Lauren out on Alameda.
All
Next
right.
year-
What she got there?
She's got she was passing out flyers for Saturday and Sunday.
She had a,
But she had a
big
snow
old
cone.
something.
That was a shaved ice thing, right?
She had a big old snow cone or something.
It looked good.
Yeah, she had a snow cone.
Snow
Yeah.
cone. You know we like those snow cones.
Well, y'all was able to spend some money with these black food truck vendors, and
We were. I want to say, I learned, I've been looking at this from the outside. You just see food trucks. And I went in there, and my God, they built out, the food trucks are there, and it's very nice and stuff. But the gentleman that owns the spot or rents it, what have you, in the back, there's restrooms, there's a platform, there's putt-putt golf.
Yeah.
There was a three-piece band playing on stage. I'm like, what the, and then,
it's an experience.
It's totally an experience.
And I want to give a shout out to Anthony Colbert, who is
Okay.
actually the primary on that, and also Ali Sadiq, the comedian, who's also a part of that food truck park over there. And so they had a vision several years ago to just start off and do the food truck park and expand to what it is now. They have more things to go. They built the fence around. They,
It's really nice.
like you said, they have electricity. They have music, live music. They
Running
have DJs and say what?
Running toilets.
Running restrooms and out there, as well as some phenomenal food truck vendors that have some unique offerings. And so I try not to go over there as often as I do, because hey, you saw the snow cones.
You know.
You saw the snow
Yeah,
cones.
you know.
You can't be eating that every day,
Yes, right.
or you shouldn't.
Maybe you shouldn't.
Yeah, you shouldn't. But nonetheless, phenomenal. And sometimes you have some staples that are there, and then you have some that alternate and come periodically. But that's the new thing now.
Right.
People, like I think you talked about it last time, about people have moved away from the brick and mortar,
Yes.
and they used to be like, now it ain't like when back in the day when my daddy used to buy tamales at the tamale man in the back of the trunk for the tamale man, just rolling down the street. You don't know what kind of sanitation he had or whatever, but they were good. I ain't gonna lie. I ate
I'm still alive, Jeff.
we still alive, but we used to drink out the water hose and everything back in the day, so we had no issues. But now today is a little different. But these individuals don't have brick and mortars. They have these food trucks, but it's almost like they have a restaurant
Right.
On wheels.
on wheels.
A restaurant on wheels.
And it's quality food, and it's just the not, I would say, the wave of the future, but it's the now.
Right.
It is
That's
the
what
now.
everybody's doing. They familiarize themselves. They have followings.
They sure do.
So they have followings, and I know there are several that I follow.
I know, me too.
Yeah. So it's a good thing. So tell me about that experience, and we'll turn it over to this artist in the building that you want to highlight, Danette. So tell me about the vision for Friday and the Hot Spotlight Houston and how that came about.
I think we started out. That was supposed to be a tour day, and Tanya had some students that were going to come, and they were not only going to stop there. We wanted them to tour the 4 times, but as you know, and I'll give them a shout out. Chelsea is emceeing for Motown now, and she had the, so we said, okay, we won't do that this year. We're thinking something else. But what happened along the way was the concept of the fact that it's still there, and what has happened down Alameda, just like down Emancipation, it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
I mean, I just drive down there just to go through it. I don't
Right.
need to stop. I just, I really get a
To be
great
nosy.
feeling. Oh, it's just watching the people.
People
I mean,
watching.
people
People
watching.
watching,
They're parking and walking and going to the various, and it's thriving.
It
See, 'cause
is.
I remember
enterprise,
it's
still.
totally
It's
all of that, and you look at that down Alameda, and you look at, and those people are making money,
Yes.
and we're turning money over in the community.
Yeah.
That's important.
That's-
You have to see, K. Davis in the community is just about that. You know what I'm saying? And partnering with them. And he was very a nice guy. And he said, anytime, let's put something together. Let's do something together. And we plan to do that because it was wonderful. It was like going over there. Everything was already there for you, but then doing what we needed to do. And they were taking the flyers and passing them out and that kind of thing. And so that's about community.
And what's interesting is that there have been a couple of popular spots over there that are no longer really going. Of course,
Right.
Turkey Leg Hut being
Right.
the primary one.
Right.
Turkey Leg Hut really got things popping off
Absolutely.
Alameda, for real. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
They moved
Yeah.
from, I remember they were on Washington Avenue in the Heights, and then they moved to that location and just built
Right.
that location and the surrounding
crazy.
areas up. And you would have lines around the corner at the Turkey Leg Hut, right? And then people started to invest on Alameda again, because it used to be
Right.
popping back in the day.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, you had like 50-15, and then Faces came, and Alfreda's was at one point open.
yeah,
and of course, but now they have a new 24-hour
Oh my goodness.
eatery
Right.
called Day and Night, right there at Sophomore in Alameda.
Alameda,
And then you have, of course, Boris Miles has his businesses with his insurance office, and he has his Our Legends, private, bar and lounge.
And my dentist.
And then your
Lasting
dentist, yeah, Lasting Impressions across the
yes,
street from the
Dr.
Forward.
Allison Scott. Yes.
Across the street from the Forward Times,
Right.
and of course, Gerald Womack.
Yes.
Yeah.
But then Unwind was another spot that used to be, vibrant. Unwind, the wine bar.
Right.
And it used to be called before that, interestingly enough, G's and Z's Coffee.
Oh, yeah.
And the reason that it was called G's and Z's is because it was named after Gerald and Zanetta,
Wow.
Zanetta Birdie.
Oh.
G's and Z's Coffee. Yeah, they did that in partnership together.
Okay.
And so an ode to them both. But there's so much going on. You had 4212 and all this stuff going on Alameda, and it's starting to pop again. And so I'm excited to see what's happening. It's more like a modern day black renaissance, business renaissance.
Yeah, and what I do, like, because it was called the Spotlight, right? And who met you, what media met you over there?
Oh, that was
Tell
funny.
people.
Oh, New York Times. New York Times she's just poking around there because she said, I heard it was going to be, so they were trying to get there early and and get the story. And I said, I've got to get some of these photos because she says, I just want to do the story on my phone. She sat up there and we did the interview, and she was taking pictures. I thought I was on the runway. She's out on the ground.
Did you take it to 50-15?
No, I didn't. I went on and finished it, and then she was back on Sunday, and we'll get back to that. But the media really ate this whole thing up. I think it was honestly, I want to say a missed opportunity for Houston, because they were they were there.
They were,
And if we ever wanted to get a story out as a group and talk about us sustaining this Houston, they were waiting for us to just be present and do what we were needing to do. And we had no shortage of the media. It was very interesting.
Good.
CNN over there, that we skipped that during the report card.
Yes.
At the top of the report card, CNN got there. And so
And
they
did a
told-
full set interview.
Full set decided they wanted to interview Sharita.
Dr. McGee.
And so we're about to start the show, and she goes, I can't hear. And so we shut the whole thing down. And so everybody was like, shh. So CNN could literally do the interview with Sharita. And you would think that Tesla, who was supposed to be the keynote, would be upset about it, or whether she was needing to catch a plane. No, she rocked around there and went live. While she was being interviewed by CNN. And I've seen it ran, what have you, the story and things like that. So there was a lot of things that people don't realize. We need to just capitalize on what we're doing. Like you say, state our case and stand there on it, and then continue to build on it. 'Cause-
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It was
All right, before we go to Saturday and Sunday, we want to talk about the artists in the building. So, Danette, you want to introduce our artist of the
I don't know if you
artists?
get a light today. You may need to come over here. I don't think you get a light. Hello, Mike. How we doing?
Okay, here we are.
Let's see if you're live.
Yeah, he said
Okay. Let's see. You're in the dark over there, so I'm gonna see you
y'all
alone.
see me? If
This-
y'all can't see me, y'all can hear me.
We can see you, babe. There you are.
are.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a little dark over there. We got you.
That's all right.
Tell us about you.
Beautiful art.
This girl hangs with us.
Oh, yeah.
She sold some art that day.
I
Right?
did.
Tell
I
them
sold
about
a
it.
painting at the report card event that day to one of the panelists, actually Miss Cecily Gay. So that was a beautiful experience, not only just to be
Black
there.
Lives Matter about the
Yeah,
picture.
Black Lives Matter.
Go on, say it.
So just to be there and learn, and also have a new
Full
collector.
Full price.
Full price.
She didn't ask for a discount.
Amen for full price, right? But my name is Raquel West, also known as Roxy Was Here. I am a visual artist of the Roxy Was Here art brand. My art is about raising awareness to art as a tool for mental wellness, also positive self-perception, and just illustrations of lived or observed life experiences. So you'll see a lot of messaging in my work. That's why, you know, I rock with the Kay Davis and the Trending Tuesdays family, because whenever there is a subject that I feel that my portfolio will fit, they call on me, and I'm always going to be willing to show up for the call. Oh yeah, Fade to Black. And so one of the other things that I have recently gotten into is, aside from like the public activations that I do with Kay Davis family, is curating. So I am currently the division lead for visual arts for the Fade to Black festival that is coming to Houston. So I am responsible for all of the visual arts, the sculptures that you guys will see when you come, because you're coming to enjoy the Fade to Black festival. It starts, yes, come.
Tell them where you met her.
I met the Fade to Black visionary at Kay Davis and Associates.
That's right, at the holiday party.
I tell people all the time,
That's
Ms.
what she
Davis is responsible, single-handedly responsible for an entire chapter in my art
Denise
career.
O'Neal.
And so I am always so grateful and honored to show up for the Kay Davis family, because I know it's going to be love, it's going to be good spirits and good conversations. Really good conversation. But yeah, so Fade to Black starts on, the kickoff is June 8th at the Hobby Center. The actual festival and all the events start on the 9th through the 14th. And everything visually pleasing that you see, I was able to be responsible for.
So
right.
you get me. So now do you see when we have these artists here and they're mentees. She came as a mentee from Ange, who does the portraits and things you see upside down on that. He introduced her, and she just keeps coming. Jeff, she was with us over at when Erica Lee and all of them won that night, Sylvester, and that she had her stuff there. And she always tells me she had it out, and I told her, I said, girl, open your mouth. Yes. These folks, hey, they looking at it thinking how beautiful. They don't know it's for sale, you know. Yes. And so this is what, I'm excited because this is what we're trying to do. She's at another level now.
Yes.
But we introduced her to a person, the talent was there. She just needed to open the door a little bit. She'd kick it open herself.
It all started at Trending Tuesday.
That's
It
right.
all started at Trending Tuesday. Seriously, it all started at Trending Tuesday.
You see how the Lord elevates you when you come on Trending Tuesday. When you come to Trending Tuesdays, you see how the Lord elevates you. If you want your next big job, you need to be here at Trending Tuesdays.
That's right.
If you want the Lord to do something for you, you need to get down here.
And that's to say you better hook up with where the hookup really is.
No, seriously, my biggest advice is always show up. You know, even if you don't know if you belong in the room or what you're doing in the room, show up. Just show up. You'll figure it out when you get there.
That's good.
Hello. Hello, lights.
That's Roxy.
All right. Thank you so much. Congratulations. I'm glad to see that you're elevating.
He said, I know you know what I've been dreaming of. Don't you, baby? My whole body gets filled with wanna give you love. Oh, help me. I ain't gonna worry. I ain't gonna push. Don't push me, baby. Come on, say. Come on, baby. Stop beating on the rush. I'm gonna get it on. Asking you, baby, I'm gonna get it on. You don't have to worry that it's wrong. If the spirit move you, let me groove you. Good, let your love come down. Get it on, come on, like a reggae, you like a reggae. Say, get it on, you got to get it on. Before I here come the good fellas, who's at the good fellas. I'm out the crowd with it, like I'm back in the day. You say it's champagne, I do my damn thing. Pretty Diana, singing and dancing all in the rain. Ooh, ooh, yeah, I just wanna have a good time. Turn around, dip and slide. Throw that ass to the right. Money come, drop, stop. So turn around and drop. Shuffle to the left, let's glide. Break it down, low, low to the floor. Make it up, step. I got my boots on the ground. Here we go. 1, 2. Get up by your seat. Hey. Let your body move. Everybody get up. Cowboys and cowgirls feeling that
Come on.
Sipping on moonshine. I see you, lady.
For those of you who weren't there on Saturday, I just want you to, this is what was going on at the band, which is phenomenal.
Can't hear y'all. Got my boots on the ground. We're gonna sing it this time. I gotta hear y'all say one. Say one. My boots on. Here we go, sing it back. 1, 2, hey, 1.
All right.
I hope you got good knees, cause we gon' get it up. Everybody's dancing to that tune.
She tore it up, didn't you?
Hold on to your wig, hold on to your man, cause the steppers in that building, y'all, and it's going down. Here we go, y'all. I can't hear y'all. Got my boots on the ground.
That's boom boom, y'all. KTSU on the mic.
Got my boots on the ground, baby. Wait a minute. Boots on the ground. Here we go. Kicking up some dust. I see you. Boots on the ground. Kicking up some dust. Wait a minute now. Where them fans at? Where them fans at? Where them fans at?
All right.
Hit me 2 times.
There it is, and I'm
All right. That's what I'm talking about. That was on Saturday.
That was Saturday.
We had the dinner on Blanc and the boots on the ground.
Boots on the ground. You got 3 bands.
3 bands.
Jolando's in the room.
Why y'all ain't I saw my girl Colette was performing.
Colette performed.
Kyle Turner.
Kyle,
okay. Kyle Turner. I mean, it was phenomenal. You have the clip with KTSU's general manager and the one that when the chef on the F on the Shelf.
What's that?
We went live. Do you have that clip?
I don't know if he has that one.
It was really interesting, Jeff. We were back there at the concessions.
I was up on the shelf, Jim.
And,
That's what you was talking about.
Tanya jumped on the shelf and it went live. And Ernest Walker, here we go. Here, we're not gonna play all of it.
Fast Walk with the visionary founder, Kay Davis in the community herself. Give it up for her. Yes. Kay, this is the inaugural, right?
Yeah.
And it's been so bold. We've done day 1, day 2.
Yeah.
This is day 3, and day 4 coming tomorrow.
Right.
This has been an experience like none other for me. How about for you?
Oh, it has been. Challenge may be the right word, but it's been fun and it feels good. It feels right. I just, I'm talking to the expert here who's going to share with me words of wisdom. So next year we can make this thing what we want, just to experience.
Really
it's great.
Yeah.
I mean, we had Cholando. They were out there dancing this morning.
Yeah.
We had
all of the line bands have been phenomenal, right?
Right.
And then our Let's Go for the Gusto line dance.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
phenomenal.
I could not even keep up with them.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how they do it. You know,
Me
I'm
either.
gonna have to start getting on the treadmill and doing some more walking.
I'm gonna have to go to
and
some
running to
classes.
get ready.
Yeah.
And go to the line dance class. I'm not going to the line dance class.
Those ladies were dancing.
I did a little mixture just to give you a sample of what I got going on. Yeah. Yeah, so that's what's going down here at the Movement Festival. It's been fun, it's been grand, it's been momentous because, you know, you started off with the why for this. And the why was bringing the community together to unify, to heal, to be restored, and let's make progress in the lives of human or mankind, right? And it was birthed through the happenings of George Perry Floyd. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when it happened, you know me. I'm not necessarily a marcher.
I really didn't want to,
Right.
You know,
go
but
through the whole
I'm
piece. I
deeply,
just wanted
deeply.
Commissioner
I'm a
Ellis to-
doer, what have you. But there you go. But I love art, and I wanted people to not forget, right? So the whole concept of it, and that's why we're here at Tom Bass, by the way, because the statue, A Conversation with George, is in this park.
Yeah.
And I want people to come back here and be in conversation with George and others about what we need to be doing. You know, and that's exactly what I think when you see it, it sparks that.
Conversation.
It does. He's sitting down, but it's not.
All right, we back in the building, man.
Yeah.
Excellent. Let's give it up for him, y'all.
I was trying to wait till Rodney
Saturday.
Ellis joined us.
Oh, yeah,
You know, Rodney actually joined us. The commissioner came in, jumped up on the bench, up on the seat and stuff. That whole thing turned into a whole thing between Ernest Washington, Ernest Walker, and Commissioner Ellis and the folk that were there. There he is. There he is there. He came in, jumped up on the
I keep up with Jay. Yeah, I'm keeping up with you. Yeah.
And I want to say kudos to Kay Davis.
Yeah.
KDITC is a nonprofit foundation founded by Kay Davis, Danette Kay Davis, and we do great things. I'm a volunteer.
Yes, she is.
We'll do a commercial.
Makes it happen for college scholarships. We
Yes.
do college scholarships. She supports the artists and the arts, and we do random acts of kindness.
And while
all
you're
the
out there
time.
filming, make sure you go by there and look at that George Floyd statue. That's tomorrow, right?
Yes, it is.
Early or late?
Yeah, it's 12. It's on at 12:30 and around 3. I
Yeah,
think
it's
we'll.
worship in the park.
Yeah.
Worship in the park
Yeah,
tomorrow.
tomorrow.
Oh, you like that gospel music, Tremaine Hawkins? It's a beautiful breeze
feels
out here. This is
good.
what we got all day. So we've been favored today with the breeze. But we have Tremaine Hawkins coming tomorrow.
We have Pastors Remus Rice, Pastor Mia Wright. I said Rice. didn't I?
Right? the song that he just gets
Yeah.
to us.
It'll be about when
About
they finish
2
church,
o'clock.
about 2 when they get here. But Marcus Wiley, when they finish church.
But hey, tell him about
But Marcus D. Wiley is hosting, and he will be here at 12. He will be starting at 12:30. He's our host. He's going to do a set in between the band or what have you. So we're all excited.
We have live music tomorrow.
Again, but it's over at the community center.
Yes, at the Tom Bass.
Tom Bass Park. Indoors.
Air conditioning.
Indoors.
Rodney acted like he was about to die. So he had a long sleeve shirt on.
All right, man. Hey, excellent job on Saturday, and then now Sunday, the conclusion. Well, not conclusion. It's the fourth day of the Movement Festival because it's not concluding. So you had the worship in the park. So, you know, let me start off by saying that I ended up coming over to Tom Bass after attending the private service at Houston Memorial Gardens where George Perry Floyd Jr. is buried next to his mother. And it was, you know, real surreal, but, you know, at the same time, you know, being there in solidarity with the family, Reverend Al Sharpton, who had come down, Congresswoman Nakima Williams from Georgia, who replaced the Honorable John Lewis seat, you know, in Georgia, as well as my frat brother, Attorney Benjamin Crump, who is often referred to as the Attorney General for Black America. But you know, State Representative Ron Reynolds, Harris County Attorney Christian Menifee, Commissioner Rodney Ellis, and a host of family members and supporters and friends were there. And, some of the words that were shared were very empowering and just a reminder, even on the heels of the decisions made by the Justice Department and the Trump administration to rescind all of the agreements that had been put in place in cities like Minneapolis, in Louisville, Kentucky, and various others, to say that they're not going to uphold those, even though those cities agreed that they would honor those to bring about reforms in their respective cities, because there were proven issues. And to have the Trump administration to say, to hell with those, we wanted to go back to business as usual, which is indicative of people who he's pardoning. You look at who he's pardoning, all of them criminals. Just be honest.
That's the next show.
All of them are criminals. All of them are criminals. All of them have been convicted of a crime. And what's interesting, and I want to get back to that.
It's hard.
He pardoned Larry Hoover, who was convicted.
Commuted his sentence.
He commuted his federal sentence. And people celebrating. The man got 200 years in the state. So he ain't getting out of prison. So what are you celebrating for? And what's the? But you know what? You got somebody else who actually is in jail for a crime that they truly did not commit. Or they are overcharged for crimes that they may have committed, and doing 25, 30, 45 years on a minor drug charge, or maybe an aggravated assault case. And you put them in jail forever, but yet these individuals get a slap on the wrist and act as if nothing ever happened. So after we left Houston Memorial Gardens, we came over to worship in the park, and this is the shot of where you see everyone who had come to see the statue. The statue that Danette Davis and her KDITC, Kay Davis in the Community, she commissioned this sculpture. It's called A Conversation with George. And everyone gathered around the statue and took this photo. And just many people just actually were in awe of the statue. They had never seen it before. This big life-size version of George Perry Floyd Jr. And even when I went back out there, I always got to take a picture with him, and I look like a little dwarf. Sitting down.
You look like a dwarf.
Yeah, sitting down next to him. But it was definitely great to have people become. Well, first of all, again, to remember him, but also to come and see something that is going to last forever and be there forever, that was birthed because of the vision of Danette Davis. So let's give her a round of applause for that. And there's more kudos to give to her towards the end, but let's talk about worship in the park. So we had Marcus D. Wiley, who is a... My God, that dude is a trip. But anyway, that's my boy, though.
You got a little footage, I think.
You got some footage of him? Oh, yeah, we got to play that because I want to laugh again. But there was you had Tremaine Hawkins singing,
There she is, right there.
singing.
to me. I want to be a singer too, so people can feel me. You know, telling jokes is cool, but singers get all the love. I mean, like, I ain't never told a joke and a woman threw her panties on the stage. So anyway, I think for single people, this is my thing. Watch this. Don't get mad at me. I'm just letting the Lord use me. For single people, how can I say it? You've been picking everything your whole life. Everything, single folk, watch this here, Bonnie. They've been picking, y'all been picking everything. Ladies, you picked that hair. You didn't consult with God, what hairstyle should I wear? You picked. Fellas, you pick the car you drive, you know, everybody do all the picking. Single. Then when it's time for the desire of the heart, your boo, you want God to do it. And I don't know if y'all know, but he busy. He got time to pick somebody you want to sleep with for the rest of your life. God ain't got that kind of time. And while it's here, and you consulting God on something that's really your decision, because God don't even select who you should serve. He don't even pick who you should serve. He let you pick.
That's good.
So if he don't pick who you should serve, I doubt he gonna pick who you plan to sleep with. Yeah. So single folk, just don't pick somebody. They all crazy. All of them crazy. I don't care how they read on paper. They crazy. All right? Yeah. So just pick somebody. Now, for my little few married folk that's in here, stick with your pick. Here's the problem that y'all have. Stick with what you pick. Yeah, you already know it brand new. I hate when people act brand new like they didn't know he was like this. Or he didn't know she was like this. Come on, man. You already knew. You already knew. When y'all was dating, she didn't cook. She ain't cook when y'all was dating. She was what they call a fixer. Yeah, a fixer. Yeah, you know, cooking and fixing two different things. Yeah, you fix tuna fish. You fix hamburger helper. You fix sandwiches. A lot of men get excited. Ooh, my baby cooking tacos tonight. No, your baby fixing tacos tonight. Cooking is when you smother something. Cooking is when you stuff something. Cooking is when you saute something. Cooking is when you preheat the oven on 350 for 2 weeks. Yeah, that's cooking. No, that's cooking. We got a lot of air fryers. A lot of George Foreman grills. But yeah. You already knew he was like this before you married him.
Wow.
Oh man, I could watch that all day, man. Oh,
Yeah,
my
me
Lord
too,
Jesus.
me too.
All right, so we had the worship in the park. We had the phenomenal events. Danette was presented with a proclamation.
Yes.
That
was very nice.
from State Representative Ron Reynolds for her work in the community, and of course we concluded with a walkover to, and I think the saxophonist was playing the Negro National Anthem.
He was.
The Negro National Anthem as we marched over to the statue once again for balloon release.
Yes.
And so, you know, words were shared, and okay.
Giant and one of our own. We made some reforms, not nearly enough. I would say I'm just so proud of his family and the way they have carried on despite their loss. And Kay, I'm just so proud of you and your company, your husband, for helping to keep his memory alive. and donating this beautiful statue of George Floyd. So give her a warm round of applause. Now, check when we're going to get the logo. We're going to get the hat. So here's what you do. You say his name. George!
Every time somebody
I'll be brief. I just want to say, let's always remember George Perry Floyd Jr. He was my classmate at Ryan Middle School, Jack Yates High School, in our 3rd Ward, legend. And we want to always remember him, and we must continue to fight until the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act is passed and other reforms that are going to ensure that African Americans and other people of color and marginalized communities are protected. So say his name.
George Perry Floyd.
That's right. All right.
This is George's auntie. Sharita's mom.
First of all, I would like to say that I'm thankful for everyone that's here. And everybody knows that we need. And that's by the years to come. And I know he's looking down on us. And I just want to say I'm just really grateful. Big enough thanks for the praise that I can give because I was his favorite aide. That's the favorite. All right. Love is real.
Love is real.
Wow. I hope you let go.
I just want to say thank you. I just want to say thank you for buying into a concept and an idea that was born out of something that just had to be done. We witnessed some stuff that, there are times when we have to take a stand. And we take a stand by creating something that was there. We forget, we're just simply sitting here next to Commissioner Ellis. So, Sharita and family, and to the community family, we're gonna say next level to our thinking, and that we're going to do better, and we won't forget George. We will not forget. He did not die in vain. He did not die alone. Say his name.
Okay, we got one more. So I just want to sort of reiterate what everybody else has said, and that I'm extremely grateful that 5 years later that there are still people who remember and who are committed, just like I'm committed to making sure that George's death is not went in vain. This is a fight, something that we didn't ask to be a part of, but because we know that it's much greater than the moment of the loss of George. It's a personal loss for us. He's never going to have a seat at our table again, but the commitment to make sure that nobody else has to experience that is renewed every year. So I'm grateful for Kay Davis and the community and what she has been able to do. She single-handedly almost tried to make sure that we don't forget about it. And the community who talk about it, but they're not about it for real. She is not just talk. She has shown us in her efforts, in her resources, in her time, and her energy. And so we met under the worst of circumstances, and we are now family. And I'm just extremely grateful. And so I just want to say thank you to her, to her husband, to Commissioner Ellis, Jeff, all of the people in the community who have stood behind us. And this is the beginning. This is the inaugural one. The plan is to make it bigger and better next year. So I hope that we will have all of your support as we continue to do what we feel here to make sure that change does happen. All right.
Oh, wow. Okay.
All right, we're back, man. That was, again, a powerful 4 days of commemoration. You know, I try to stay away from the celebration word because, you know, you can celebrate someone's life and legacy, of course, but, you know, what happened to him is what we're remembering.
Exactly.
Along with his life and legacy.
Right.
But the only reason, sadly, that we're having to, around Memorial Day, remember him is because of what happened to him, unfortunately, which is commemoration. And so I am very proud of you, Danette, for doing something that you did not have to do. You don't have to take your time, you don't have to take your talent, and you definitely don't have to take your treasure.
That's right.
Yes.
And it's a lot of treasure
Yes.
that you put into the commemoration of George Perry Floyd Jr. And not only to commemorate his life and legacy and what happened to him, but also to be a support to others.
Right.
You know, the things that you do to highlight these artists, you don't have to do.
Right.
You building this facility in Sunnyside, Houston, Texas, you did not have to do. You doing, you do. Yes, you did. Right? You putting the statues and doing the things you did at Texas Southern, honoring 3 legacy makers.
Yes.
Is something that you didn't have to do. Doing the bronze statue, the conversation of George in memory of George Perry Floyd Jr. is not something you had to do. Everything that you're doing outside of making money, doing your business, you didn't have to do.
Correct.
And so I really believe in giving people their flowers while they can smell them and letting people know that you are appreciated for what you do. Trending Tuesdays, you don't have to do. Honoring people, you don't have to do.
Right.
And we appreciate you. And you deserve to be appreciated.
Yes.
Yes.
And I just want everybody to show your appreciation.
Yes.
Now that would be a good applause if we were in Mexico, or maybe if we were in Dallas, but we're in Houston.
Texas size, baby, come
We
on.
need a big Texas size appreciation for Danette K. Davis, y'all. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Thank you. I appreciate that. What I'm trying to do, when you see me, look, I'm always directing. I told Bernadine, now, it's some folk, we got a lot of work to do till we get this thing like we want it to be with respect to celebrating. See, we can't keep going back to, well, we will always march on the bridge at Selma. And Harriet Tubman always led the folk to freedom. But we have to build things too, and get these, so these kids can relate to. You can't keep just going back to that old stuff, because they start to say, I don't, that doesn't have anything to do with me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we have to create things and continue to do that. And so one of the things, that when you look around here and you see the pictures from the unveiling, right? That was then, and that was, Sharita, what, 22, whatever those years, whatever
Right.
time was. And so we got a little grant, we toured it around, and you see it everywhere. But then we're 5 years later. So one of the things, Vicki, that we're doing with this festival, now I do want to say, I do appreciate, because I've actually, KTSU did talk, and I called Ernest, I'll make sure, before I say it out loud, Ernest, that, they were impressed with what we did and want to be involved next year at another level, you know what I'm saying? And so people pay attention when you doing what you need to be doing, but when you're trying to really do it for the right reasons, right?
Yeah, it's true.
And so, but what I was thinking as we were making this inaugural was documenting it so that what travels next time becomes this event And so when you see Vicky everywhere, she made every event.
Yes, she did.
And Avery has video at every event, I think, but the Friday event, but Vicky was there. Whatever. Then now we have, and then tonight, you as a part of this celebration, she's taking pictures tonight as well. And what I wanted to add to what we're doing, Bernadine has been, when I have people who, Bernadine's a church member of mine, but she's become a friend and a supporter. And when we were out there, literally, and this is me from my heart, Lauren and I were running around Sunday, setting up. And I looked out there when it started, and that was Bernadine and Shantae, who does work for us at the building or whatever, and then our other volunteer, that Angie, out there selling T-shirts and doing, just stepped in to do what they do. She was at, I want to say probably every event but the one on, and she bought tickets. People who kind of believe in what we're doing with Trending Tuesdays and some of these things we're doing, it's becoming like a club of folk, and they repeat, and they start showing up. We found out the lady, honestly, the 4-4, she was there Sunday, she was there Saturday, and she said, "I'm coming back," and she was there. So they just didn't know we existed, but they were so enthused about what we did that they became the folk that came again on Sunday. And I had a lady that called me. She was there Thursday. She said, because I'm trying to think of the host that was there. No, the Dallas.
Jones.
He didn't know. She said it was on his Facebook page. So we know the power of social media. She came.
Charlene, there she is.
Where she is? Right,
Right
there
there.
she is. So she came that day. Then she came back. Then she came back again.
And she's here tonight.
And she's here tonight.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? So it's Bernadine. So it's my brother and his wife, and Jolanda, who was that fantastic band y'all saw singing at the top. Now, he's not performing tonight. He's partnering with us on another project we're doing about Camp Logan that we'll announce here in a bit. But he's here. Dorian asked me, did you need me, the one that was marching with the saxophone? So the movement is just that. See, the other folk can get on later. They can come on later after we already, everybody want to jump on the train when it's rolling. But those folk that were there at this inaugural event matter, and we're documenting it. And that becomes the pictures that you start seeing. This time, when we start talking about next year, it'll be the video from this inaugural, including tonight. So what I wanted, and what I asked Bernadine, if she'd be willing to just tell us why. Because I don't have to, they call me, my brother called me today and said, "Hey, we're doing Trending Tuesday tonight." You're not the only one. I had like 4 other calls. I talked to Melissa today. People will come. So people, it means that it matters, Jeff. It matters that you do what you do. You ladies are here. Tanya, I saw your note. Tanya said, "I'll change my plans. I'll be there." That means she had something else to do. But it matters.
Yeah, they watching now. They had to make sure.
At least I'm accounted for. I'm present and accounted for, Jeff.
And it's live, so she ain't lying.
That's right.
Right, exactly. Right. So whoever is, I'm okay. I'm gonna leave that alone.
Not being there with Jeff. Please, don't get yourself caught up with
So
Jeff.
he's messy. He's messy. So what I want to do is have Bernadette. I asked my brother. I was asking you, and I was asking my pastor across the street, who has been our partner since we moved in this building, and it's at every event. You are just special.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
He is. You talk about a man of God.
And he went to Yates.
And went to Yates. And went
Don't
to,
forget that.
And when we donated gifts at Christmas at Young, he was over there with us donating gifts. I mean, they joined in, and he was right there with us with those kids passing out. So I know his you watch people and you get to know them. They can tell you one thing, but then they show you really who they are.
That's right.
And we want to appreciate that. He also makes T-shirts, y'all. See that T-shirt? That's his work.
Okay.
Okay, just, and we know we need to celebrate our own and do business, turn that money around in the community, right, Pastor? So if we could, guys, if y'all could, I know, Charles, I don't know if you want to get over there, but I wanted you to say something because I want you on the video tonight. That's what I'm doing this. This is the inaugural year. So, Bernadine, do you?
Yes.
Yeah, you asked me why was
Is she Mike? Okay, can you make her hot? So she's recording? Well, I couldn't maybe do that if she's not talking to her. Would you like to come up and speak? Would you like to?
She said who?
Okay. You asked me why was I there? Why was I there to support Danette? I was there Thursday, and one of the things I got out of Thursday, one of the things, let me first let you know that I believe in justice. I'm against injustice. You know, I did not know George Floyd, but I do know I know my brothers, I know my son, and I know of other people in the community. And what happened to George Floyd, even though I didn't know him, it affected me emotionally. Believe it or not, I cried. Not because, I didn't know him in person, but I cried because he was somebody's son. He was somebody's father. You know, he was somebody's brother. So that affected me emotionally. So when Danette came up with the movement in memory of George Floyd, I came out Thursday because, the lady that was the speaker said, I think Miss Farrow said, you know, if you are not the speaker, or you're not the one that's doing the movement and the shaking, you can at least support the person that is. And Danette is one that was the visionary that came up with the idea of the movement. So therefore, I'm going to support Danette. Yeah. I'm also positioning myself to be able to support Danette on a monthly basis. So it was really inspirational. It was a powerful form. You know, I disagree that we haven't, we made some progress, maybe not as much progress as we should, but the progress I know we made, you know, people came and they did enough, they raised enough, they did enough shaking and made enough noise that, you know, the Congress, House of Representatives the Democrats did draft the George Floyd policing bill. It did get a vote in the House of Representatives, 220 to 212. It did go to the Senate, but then, you know, everybody got to negotiating and arguing, and that's where it died. So there was progress. It came up, a bill came out of all that. So that was progress. May not have been where we wanted it, but like Trey says, the keynote speaker said, it didn't go. I'm sure President Biden could have did an executive order, but he didn't. He did some order, but he didn't do that order. And like she said, if it didn't stay as a bill, when somebody else come in, they can do another executive order if they can't make it a law. But it was a very good form, and also the play was good. I was in the back talking to Dr. Sharita's mom. We were discussing the play. It brought to the forefront a lot of ills in society. You know, it wasn't just about what happened to George Floyd, yes, but it was about things that go on in society. These are ills in society. George Floyd did not create this, but it was brought to the forefront by this play, Breathe. Also, I did not go to the Fridays event. I was at Saturdays. I volunteered. I saw that as a kind of like an invitation for the community to come together and celebrate, you know, what we have achieved. You know, I got a chance to walk. I was there, volunteered. I got a chance to talk to people if they walked in. After I stopped doing that, I got a chance to talk to other people, you know, walking around. I met a lot of people. I talked to them. I knew a lot of those dancers out there, you know, and so I got a chance to do that. And I enjoyed that. I thank Danette for asking me to volunteer because I really felt that I you know, I might be the little person, but I was able to contribute something. Yes. And then Sunday was the worship in the park. That was exciting. Like you said, Marcus Wiley was funny. You know, I really liked that, and I was sitting there with my friend because she was one of those people who were talking about that fixed thing, and I was one of those people like, and I love this. And he said, "Just choose one." Now that was funny, but I enjoyed the singers. They started off singing gospel. I kind of got lost, and when they changed, but they did sing some gospel.
I'm on the right track, right?
They was just worshiping in a different way. That's all.
They worshiped in a different way. And then, you know, of course, walking out to the statue, a live statue of George Floyd. That still gave us hope. The net put that statue there, a full live statue of someone that's no longer with us, but it still gave us hope that it will get accomplished. Maybe not this year, maybe not this administration, but there's still hope. And I'm one that believes in God. If you continue to pray and continue to take action, it will happen. I just can't tell you when.
All right. Thank you so much. Woo, what a recap.
Wow, she did the whole thing.
Yeah, she did everything. She did it all.
That was a recap.
She was paying attention, no child. That's why.
I know. Well, Pastor, you got something to say?
Listen, I just want to appreciate those individuals that came out. I got a bad knee. I went to bed
Can we get
feeling good, woke up, couldn't walk. But again, the movement is real. I watched this thing called Beautiful on Netflix, and black men, we have to raise our sons different than the average person, because when you get pulled over by the cops, you gotta do what's right. You gotta go overboard to show them that you're not being offensive or anything, because police reform needs to happen. And I believe that the George Floyd movement, the bill, it may not have passed this time, and if we keep on doing what we're required to do and not let it rest, not let his life be in vain, then one day it won't happen this administration because of the idiot up there. And I can say that because I'm a pastor. But you gotta speak truth to power. And so at the end of the day, what we accomplished this past weekend was nothing short of phenomenal. And if you missed it, then you missed a treat.
Yes, you did.
And I believe the Bible says, don't despise humble beginnings. Because what will happen, will happen. You have a foundation now to build on. You got some do's and you have some don'ts.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you did it from your heart. And out of the heart flows rivers of life. And so I want to applaud you. And Jeff, you said she had opportunities to put it anywhere. She could have did anything with her money, but she could not have put this building in the 5-1 and got away with it. Amen. And so we tell you thank you.
Appreciate you. Thank you so much. All right, y'all, we're going to get up out of here, but I just want to,
I was going to let her, no. And then my husband.
Charlene.
We can, her, just very briefly, and then my husband. You don't want to say anything?
She said no.
Hi, my name is Charlene Jones. I'm a precinct chair in 3rd Ward. I'm a community advocate. And I push people to get out and vote. In order for us to change legislation, we have to vote. We can't sit on the couch. And that's what a lot of us did last year, and now here we are. But I'm so glad to have met Kay. Dr. McGee is a church member, and so was Dallas Jones. I know both of them. I see them on Sundays. And so, like I was telling you, Dallas's Instagram pulled up on my page, and I said, a George Floyd movement that nobody knows anything about. Remember I told you? I said, where's the PR? I mean, because we didn't know. I mean, we could have pushed it in 3rd Ward, Sunnyside. I have friends that live here around the corner, and they didn't know that it even existed. So next year, I'm sure it'll be much better. But I told you I was going to come because I wanted to check out your facility. Because I have people that don't know you exist and maybe have meetings here and stuff.
Beautiful.
You know. So, but thank you, though.
We talked for a few minutes. We ended up, was it an hour? We ended up on the phone for an hour, or whatever. So she's. Yeah, no. I sent you. You didn't get it. Okay, I have it.
We send you.
They did a small. When we tell you the media was looking for stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, my daughter, the dancers, she was all up in the dressing room. They're in the Chronicle, talking about some. They quoted my daughter, and they quoted her. But if you know, she said she went down to the Chronicle, and she tried to get in, and the security guard wouldn't let her in. He said, "You need to buy a subscription." She said, "Well, can I just?" No, you have to buy a subscription. So literally, I renewed my subscription, and I printed. I had the article for her and the other one, so that they can have it or what have you. They were looking for stories, so we were there, and next year we'll have those stories for them. They won't have to come looking for us. We'll have it out. And I just wanted to, my husband, whatever I'm doing, he's got my back. Feeding the community, or what have you. You know, Kay Davidson is I wanted you to say something. Did you not want to, brother? Because if you ever seen anybody that had a relative, I have one brother, and he's just like when we were kids. He's always there. He's always here.
Yes.
He was at the Movement Festival.
Yes.
Just like when we were kids, and as I grow older and whatever, except he's always there. That's the way we were raised. My grandfather told him, "Take care of your sisters," and he has one left, and he is still here.
He's still here.
So,
still here.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
All right.
Oh.
He said, "Oh, there I am."
Well, if I had known I was gonna be speaking, I would have dressed, got sharp like Brother Boney over there. But I'm just proud of my baby sister.
Yes.
We were raised on the ancient standard, and that is to give back to the community. Our parents that raised us were community people and was always involved. PTA, my grandfather was the scoutmaster, Little League team. We always gave. And the Bible said it is more blessed to give than to receive. And so I heard you mentioned about the children. No, the children today were not raised on the ancient standards that we were raised on. So they don't have the same values. But that doesn't mean that we discard them.
Amen.
We still got to set the example in front of them. And they'll come around.
Yes.
Because
That's right.
the fix is already in. We know that. If you know Christ,
Yes,
you know
amen.
the fix is already in. So we just live our days, as Psalm 99 says, as a tale that is told. So I thank each and every one of you that have latched on or attached yourselves to my baby sister. Again, I'm so proud of her. I never in my wildest dreams would imagine that she is trying to do the things that she's trying to do. But the movement was super. I enjoyed it. The bands were out of sight. The line dancers, I tell you, with clapping those fans and everything, I'd never seen that before. And the thing about it, I'm up in age now, and you know that's why I'm kind of cautious how I step and what have you. But everything was just lovely. The Sunday service. I didn't get a chance to get to the food court, but I know it was wonderful. And I'm gonna just have to say, since I'm a part of Trinity Tuesday, Tanya, you some little spark plug. Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you. You tell me what they're gonna eat. This is the chef.
Hey.
The chef, that's him. Yeah.
So, give you guys my heart and soul today is turkey neck soup 2.0. Very unique herb blend going on with it. and a unique new dish, which is roasted sweet potatoes with balsamic vinegar, butter, and ginger topping. And then we have organic jasmine rice and about 10 lamb chopped loins, so freshly roasted on the barbecue pit, infused waters, and a whole lot of love. Thanks for coming, you guys.
That's it. All right, Chef. Now I'm throwing it back over to Chef for the closing.
All right, y'all. So we about to get up out of here. We have the extended edition tonight.
And extended.
The extended edition of the Movement Festival 2.0. And so, no, I'm so excited to be here. I just want to end with this, and this is really applicable to you, Danette, because I know you don't toot your own horn. And you, to me, are the epitome of humility. But, humility is not thinking of yourself less. It's thinking of yourself less. No, excuse me. It's not thinking less of yourself.
Right.
It's thinking of yourself less. And you think of yourself less and you think about others more. And that's what makes you the epitome of humility to me. So God bless you. We're about to get up out of here, y'all. Trending Tuesdays until next time. Peace.
All right. We out? We down? Yeah, okay.
Picture that with a Kodak. Or better yet, go to Times Square, take a picture of me with a Kodak. Took my life from negative.